Recently, a few specific fantasy books have taken over my For You page, and as someone that loves fantasy but has kind of been on a romance kick for the last few years now, I thought it would be fun to see if these books live up to the TikTok hype and try and get back into my fantasy girl era. I do want to start this off with a quick disclaimer that if you don't like hearing negative thoughts, opinions, criticisms of books that you love, then this video might not be for you. I think everyone should read what they enjoy, so there's no judgment from me if you did like these books. These are just my opinions on my experience reading them. Also, this video contains major spoilers for all of these books, so you have been warned. The first book I read was The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This story follows Oriah, the adopted human daughter of the Nightborn vampire king, as she enters into a once-in-a-century competition to win a wish from the goddess of the vampires. Oriah teams up with Rain, an unlikely vampire ally, as they fight to survive the trials and each other. This book definitely has some dark themes and scenes, so check out any trigger warnings if you decide you want to read it. Okay, if I look tired, it's because I stayed up all night reading this freaking book! I was just supposed to start it yesterday. I was gonna get a feel for the tone, for the characters, for the world, and I literally couldn't put it down. You would have had to pry this thing out of my cold dead hands. The maze child pushed me over the edge. And so when it got to the point where she's like, don't let them take her. And he goes, I won't. Oh my God. Honestly, I'm obsessed with the main character, Oriah, too. And it's so funny to read from her perspective because she is so clearly so traumatized and just has no idea. I love her so much. It is just fulfilling the emptiness in my cold, sad, slow burn, hate to love, obsessed heart. Don't fucking touch her. Something bad is about to happen and I don't know what. This is getting really bad. It's just Oriah and Rain left. She just killed Angelica. They're like gonna fight. I don't know how this is gonna end. What is going on? Oh my God, I feel sick. This is so fucked up. Look them in the eyes as you slide the blade in. Vincent's voice whispered, if he's actually dead, what if she uses her wish to save him? Okay, I know everything is really intense right now, but this sexy goddess is fire as fuck. She said my name the only way it was ever meant to be said. She's so cool. How is there another chapter? Oh my God, I feel sick again. Look away. Holy shit. A heart that was just as soft as mine in the end. Wow. I never lied to you. Yeah, I'm still on his side. I am. I'm sorry. This book is so fucked up. Wow. Wow. Okay, let's recap a little. Is this story the most original thing ever? No. Was it the best writing in the fantasy genre? No. Was the main character literally good at everything, even though she's basically a human living in a vampire world? Yes. I do definitely feel like it had that kind of fantasy book effect, where for like the first 100 pages, I kind of had no idea what was going on. But for the most part, like the world was just really cool. I don't know, I love a coliseum, fight to the death, and demented monsters jumping out from the shadows, and a godlike puppeteer controlling as people fight for power. It was very like vampiric Hunger Games. I also thought that the romance was done really, really well, which definitely has to do with my personal preference. Like, my biggest pet peeve is when there's any sort of romantic arc that starts with the characters not liking each other. They have the whole, God, I can't stand him, but he's so hot and sexy and attractive, and I can't get enough, but I hate him. I hate that. And this book did not have that at all. Oriah and Rain really did not like each other in the beginning, and it was so fun. But that being said, if you're kind of mainly looking for something with a lot of spice, this probably isn't gonna be for you. With all of the twists and turns that go on, I did think that for the most part, they were pretty predictable. Like, I knew that Vincent was gonna be a bad guy. He's like this evil vampire king and has been for the last 2 centuries. It's not really a good guy job, but I thought that the journey to get there was still really fun. So yeah, I loved Oriah, I loved Rain, and I thought a lot of the side characters were cool too. And even if you're not really sure that a vampire story is for you like I was, I definitely recommend it. For a great hate to love story, a vivid world, intense fight scenes, and a pretty classic fantasy plot. For me, this is a 4-star read. Definitely. Next, I read Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, which is about 2 rival writers competing for a promotion at a local newspaper when they discover a magical connection between their typewriters. They go on a journey to try and discover the dark truth about the war ravaging their society, and they find love, hope, and family along the way. This book also explores some dark themes, so again, I recommend checking out trigger warnings before getting into reading it yourself. Not much has happened yet. We've just met some of the main characters, and Iris was just writing a letter to her brother Forrest, who is away at war, and she's been slipping the letters under her wardrobe and they've been disappearing. But she just got an answer that says, "This isn't Forrest." I hope it's not Roman because that would be kind of boring, but it's fucking Roman. I knew it. Come on. Well, I'm about halfway through the book. I'm at chapter 25, and honestly, I'm kind of just confused. I feel like I don't get it. Like, I feel like it's a me problem, but I have no idea what's going on. I don't really understand the lore, and it has been described to us. It's not that we're missing tons of information, which we definitely are, purposefully missing information, and I understand that. But I don't understand the information that we have been given so far. I don't understand why Dacker wanted Enva in the first place. And the way that he went about finding her also confused me. First of all, does it matter if the gods take power again? I don't know, because it was never told to us that it was bad when the gods were in power. And with the war in general, I'm kind of confused on literally how it works. I get that Enva is enlisting people by playing her music and calling out to them in song with her godly powers, but it doesn't actually seem to be burrow against burrow. It's kind of just which god you think is right. So I'm just really confused about who's on whose side, what the sides are, and how this war is waging on. I am enjoying how British it is though. That's pretty fun. Hold on. He basically just proposed to her. They're children, 18 and 19. I am sorry, I hate them. I'm sorry. Okay, I finished. I want to start off by saying that I don't think this book is bad. I get why a lot of people are reading it and really enjoying it, but I just think it wasn't for me. It wasn't very fantastical, I would say. And it felt like, for the most part, all of the fantastical elements that are in the book could have been removed and it wouldn't have really impacted what was going on. It just felt like a war between humans. The only thing that the book really relied on was the magic typewriters that Iris and Roman relied on to talk to each other. I did think that the setting was cool, kind of this scrappy, hungry story of a girl that wants to write real gritty articles. That's cool. I liked the vibe. I didn't think it was bad. I just didn't feel connected to it. It also just didn't really align with my preferences in terms of the romance. I didn't think there was a ton of chemistry also between Iris and Roman. They had one really cute scene that I really liked. I think it was when they were on their first run together. But other than that, it felt weird to me. The really fast wedding, especially for an 18 and a 19-year-old, that is just a lot for me personally. I just didn't feel connected to the characters or the plot. So I think if you like more cozy genre stories where it's mostly about the vibes and you just like a touch of fantasy and the concept sounds cool to you, then you totally might enjoy it. But for me, this was definitely like a 2-star read. Although it feels like it needs no introduction at this point, the last book that I read was Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. It follows Violet Sorrengail, who is forced by her mother to join the military despite having a chronic illness, where she has to fight to survive long enough to bond with a dragon and fight for her kingdom, alongside a myriad of people that want to see her dead, including the infamous rebel leader's son, Xaden Ryerson. We have officially met both of the love interests, Xaden and Dane. There is an ocean between the two of them. Dane, I would describe as big muscles, annoying. Xaden, I would describe as hot. And that's really all we know about the two characters respectively. So I think there's a clear winner here, and I think it's obvious why the only name that I've seen on TikTok is Xaden. I'm only 9% of the way through the book, and I'm really not sure if I'm gonna like it because of how kind of weird it feels to be reading this like mix of YA pace and tone and narration with like new adult horniness. But even I can't deny that Xaden is hot. I mean, all we know about him is that he's a bad boy, he's tall, and he's kind of scary. So he's pretty much won me over. She gets 2 dragons? Really? Really? And her dragon is fucking mated to Xaden's? Oh, this is so bad. I'm so sorry, but it's so bad. I'm just calling it now. I think he killed her brother. There's been no talk of it, but I think he killed her brother. Why am I literally gonna cry? Liam is just the best of them. Liam is the best of them. I'm sorry, it's cheesy still. Is her fucking brother alive? They're taking him to him. They're risking everything they know a healer. Is her fucking brother alive? It's happening. It's fucking happening. Oh my god! I knew it. I think he killed her brother. And just like that, it is over. All right, I took some time to shower and my hair's still a little wet, but I need to talk about this experience. I thought the world itself had a lot of potential. It has a lot of classic fantasy setup, like warring kingdoms and dragons and bad guys with slightly different dragons, but a lot of it felt kind of halfway thought through to me. Like the magic system was a little touch and go for me. There weren't a lot of rules to give it structure. It was kind of like, you get a dragon, you get a sick ability, and you can use it, but don't use it too much. But if you're the hero and you need to use it a lot to save the day, go ahead and go for it because Xaden will help you. He'll put you back together with the help of your dead brother that he's known about this entire time. It's fine. Tairn is the best character by far. He is everything to me. He's the funniest. He's the most consistent throughout the book, I felt. I thought he was so sick. I genuinely think that the presence of dragons and how strong their personalities were, like, truly elevated this book so much. The dragons made it for me. I did also end up liking Violet a lot, which I wasn't sure I was going to in the beginning, but it was really cool and fun to see a character with chronic pain become so insanely powerful and just be so messy and horny and strong. It was really fun. Xaden. Let's talk about Xaden. He was a decently interesting character. It's cliche, but I love a bad boy with a mysterious past, and he's kind of broken, but he's actually a really good guy. I love that shit. I eat it up every time. That doesn't bother me. And I thought the way that he showed that he really was a good guy was fun. It was basically every trope under the sun jam-packed into the book, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. But so much of what he had going for him was absolutely destroyed by the ultimate cringe factor that he got. Oh my god. Fuck. That stubborn, feisty look always makes me want to kiss you. It was definitely fun to kind of hate read, and it did also make me nostalgic for books with a really similar tone that I loved when I was younger. If you like Divergent and you don't mind a megawatt of cringe, and you're looking for a lighthearted fantasy that's mostly about the romance and follows a super classic fantasy story, has a ton of popular tropes, and surprisingly fun dragons, this could definitely be for you. But if you're somebody that loves fantasy stories for their depth or invention and world building, and you're looking for something fresh and new, this probably is not going to be your cup of tea. So I'm giving Fourth Wing 2.5 stars. Even though not all of these books were necessarily new favorites, I'm really glad that I've dipped my toes back into the fantasy genre, and I am definitely looking for vampire recs. If anybody has any, please and thank you. Also, I know there's been a lot of talk about fantasy romance as a genre recently, and I just wanted to say that I'm personally of the mind that you should read whatever you're interested in, and that art doesn't have to have meaning, and enjoyment is meaningful enough, as long as there is also room for critical thinking, analysis, and discourse. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and I will see you soon. Bye!